Who can make laws and in which places do those laws work? Can a state law be used everywhere or only in its own area? How do we decide which government can make which laws? Can one law control the whole country or just one state? Dear friends, this is Mr. Ask Me Anything, bringing you all the answers related to Doctrine of Territorial Nexus. Let us see what is Doctrine of Territorial Nexus. Doctrine of Territorial Nexus is a rule that helps governments decide where their laws can apply. It means that a law made by a state or the central government can be used not only inside its area but also outside, as long as there is a clear connection between what is happening outside and the state or country's people or interests. This rule is important because it stops governments from using their laws unfairly in places where they have no control or where peoples are not connected to them. At the same time, it allows them to protect the people, economy, and environment when activities outside affect them. What does the Constitution say about territorial nexus? Article 245 of the Indian Constitution provides making laws for the whole or part of India, which means Parliament can make laws that apply to the whole country or to specific parts of the country. State legislature can make laws for their own state only. However, the law must be about things connected to the area. Thus, Article 245 gives the power to make laws but also sets limits. A law should not be made just anywhere. It must relate to the place where it is supposed to work. For example, Parliament can pass a law that applies everywhere, like rules about defense or currency. A state can make a law about local matters like agriculture or health services within that state. But a state cannot make a law for another state unless there is a real connection between the issue and the area. Thus, if Parliament passes a law about the whole country's highways, it applies everywhere. If a state passes a law about farming practices, it applies only within that state. Article 246 of the Indian Constitution provides divisions of lawmaking powers, which means this article clearly divides the subjects on which Parliament and state legislature can make laws about. The subjects are divided into three lists. They are Union List, State List, and Concurrent List. Here, number 1. Union List provides the matters that only Parliament can make laws about, like defense, foreign affairs, money, etc. Number 2. State List provides the matters that only states can make laws about, like police, public health, agriculture, because it directly affects people living there. Number 3. Concurrent List provides the matters that both Parliament and states can make laws about, like education, marriage, and electricity. Thus, this article ensures that power is shared between the central government and the states. It prevents confusion by clearly saying who is allowed to make laws on which topic. It also allows cooperation on shared matters like environmental protection or transport, where both levels of government need to work together. So, territorial nexus is based on this article because they allow laws to apply beyond borders only when there is a connection. Finally, we know that Article 245 allows Parliament and states to make laws, but only where it makes sense, depending on their area and connection to the issues. Article 246 explains who can make laws on which subject, so that the central and state governments know their responsibilities and work without conflict. To make clearer, let us look the examples. Example 1. Online shopping. Imagine you live in a state B and you buy a smartphone from a website based in state A. The website sends the phone to you in a state B. Even though the company is in another state, state B can ask for its sales tax because you are buying and using the phone in state B. The connection is through delivery and use. Example 2. Income from another state. Suppose you work for a company in state A but live in state B. You get your salary in state B and spend it there. Even though the company is in another state, state B can tax your income because you live there and use the money there. Example 3. Pollution problem. A factory in state A throws waste into a river that flows into state B. The water becomes dirty and people in state B suffer. Because the pollution affects state B, its government can take action against the factory even though it is in another state. Thus, the doctrine of territorial nexus means that a government can make laws that apply outside its area if there is a real connection between the outside activity and the people or interest inside the area. The connection must be strong and meaningful, and courts make sure this is the case before allowing the law to apply. Now we can answer those questions. Question 1. Who can make laws and in which place do those laws work? Answer. The parliament or central government can make laws for the whole country or for a specific part of it, while each state's government can make laws for its own area. But for a law to apply, there must be a connection between the place where the law is made and the people or activities it affects. This connection is called territorial nexus. If the link is real and strong, the law can apply even outside its normal area. Questions 2. Can a state's law be used everywhere or only in its own area? Answer. A state's law usually applies only in that state. However, if something outside the state affects the people or economy of the state and there is a clear connection, the state's law can also apply there. This connection is what we call territorial nexus. Without this link, the state's law cannot be used in other areas. Question 3. How do we decide which government can make which laws? Answer. The Constitution divides law-making powers between the central and state governments. But if an activity or issue outside their area affects their own people, they can still make laws about it if there is a strong connection. This is doctrine of territorial nexus. Courts check whether this connection is enough to allow the law to apply beyond borders. Questions 4. Can one law control the whole country or just one state? Answer. A law can control the whole country if parliament makes it and it is meant to apply everywhere. A state's law usually applies only within its borders. But if something outside the state directly affects it, the state can also apply its law there through territorial nexus, as long as there is a real and meaningful connection. Thank you for watching Mr. Asks Me Anything. Please do like, share, comments and subscribe. For this video I am signing out. See you in next video. Till then, take care.